helping your kid with homework or making sure your kid is learning the material that is being taught at that time in class is very important and very essential, because if you don't do that, your kid will fall behind. Hello world, my name is Tristan.
My name is Kimmy.
And you're now listening to Join
the Conversation Podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of Join the Conversation Podcast. We are your hosts. My name is Tristan.
My name is Kimmy.
And before we jump into today's topic, here's a quick recap from the last episode. I was at Food Lion. We went down the canned good aisles and everything was still there. And it was just like, why? Like, what are people thinking? All this stuff that you buying is going to be spoiled out within 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, or a month at most. If we're on lockdown for 5 months, you're going to have absolutely nothing to eat because you didn't even have the common sense or to take a moment and think in your moment of panic to say, oh, we need to stock up on canned good supplies. This week's episode topic is based on the coronavirus again, but I know that our last episode we talked about how people were, I guess you can say, preparing for going in quarantine, quote unquote, preparing. But this episode here is going to be based on, is going to be a I don't know how to put it, dedicated, let's put it that way, dedicated to parents to be able to express themselves and how they feel having to help their kids with all of the homework that teachers, I'm sure around the world, at least in South Carolina, I know they've done this, but I'm sure they did it all around the world, have been sending homework home or some type of work home for them to help their kids with. So, I know that we had a small discussion about it earlier this week.
He's talking to me, by the way.
Yeah, of course, but I'm gonna let you take it away.
Okay, so basically this kind of started off, I have a professor, well, I'm still in school, I go to CSU, and we have transitioned to online classes. So my professor was talking about how her husband's a teacher and has a parent to where, basically emailing him saying, I can't do the work you've given me to do with my kid. Mm-hmm. I work this, and that. That kind of ticked me off in a way, and that's how our conversation kind of got started. Because to me, I personally feel like, I know life is hard. We have to work and provide for our kids. I get that, But you make time for your kids if they need it, and if you care. Personally, that's how I feel. If you care about your child's education, you will find some time out of your day. You have 24 hours in a day. You can spend at least 1 hour a day going over some academic stuff that your child's teacher have sent you. And my thing is, half the time I feel like teachers are sending videos. You know what I'm saying? It's not like...
It depends. At least, I'm going to let you finish and then I'm going to check.
I just personally don't think it's like hardcore stuff. It's topics and materials that they've covered already. I highly doubt a teacher's gonna give a kid a whole new topic to learn or material to learn without going into depth about that material. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not having that time with the student. I don't know. To me, it was an excuse for you to say, I work this amount of hours, I don't have time, blah, 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 blah. You're the parent. Find some time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess to play devil's advocate, and I also want to acknowledge out there that this is just our opinions.
Yes.
You're entitled to your opinion. This is the purpose of this podcast, so we can all come together and we can try to just have a nice, decent conversation. And yeah, it's probably going to be some disagreeing going on, but that's okay. like I said, everyone has their own opinion on things. But I guess to play devil's advocate in a way and try to, of course, becoming a future counselor, taking the mindset of a parent. Some parents, it's a couple of things. So, I've mentioned before, and if you guys don't know, I've currently work with kids that have autism. So for one of my clients, of course, I won't say any names, confidentiality. I had to, one of my sessions, the last session I had with him, I helped him with some of his homework. He had a couple of 3 rows of packets, and they each had different days, like day 1, or I would think I helped him with day 3, and then there was day 4 or 5, and I don't know how far back it went.
So it's like a homework packet.
Yeah, pretty much. But the dad expressed to me about if I have the time to please help him with the homework, and he was saying how currently the dad is working from home. Of course, because a lot of with this pandemic going on, a lot of people are working from home, and then some people are just jobless right now.
Yeah.
But he was saying how he kind of doesn't have the time to help him with his homework. So I just, to play devil advocate, I feel like with some parents potentially is that it could be I feel like a lot of the times, a lot of parents, especially the old school parents, or at least I guess that would be around my age my generation growing up wise, but because more the younger kids now, they're not really that. Yeah, y'all get what I'm saying. But a lot of the parents sometimes don't know how to do the work, or they simply just don't want to do it. Well, I'm supposed to be playing devil advocate, my bad. But it could be that the parent, let me see. So it could just work, the workload of having to work from home, being stressed from that. Once getting done with work, they don't feel like or they they're just tired. They don't have to put that extra energy to help the kid with homework when they need to prepare dinner and all this stuff. Or honestly, some parents maybe don't know how to do the work, I guess you could say, depending on what grade level, of course. But
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
See, I get where you're coming from with the whole the parent not knowing, what to do, all that stuff. But I just personally feel like if you are able to email the teacher, telling the teacher, hey, I don't have time to do all this, you could also email the teacher saying, hey, I don't know how to do this. Can you please help me? But
I don't think a lot of parents are going to email the teacher. A lot of parents, just pull up to the school if there's a problem going on, but they don't have that option. But I don't think parents really email teachers. Yeah, maybe in this day and age with the kids, probably, but I don't know. Go ahead. My bad.
Well, I'm not talking about just the ones that aren't speaking up. I'm talking about the ones that are telling the teachers, I don't have time for this. Why are you sending my, why do I have to do this? Those are the type of parents I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the ones that are, not saying anything to the teacher and not expressing how they're feeling. That's on you. Because what you're doing with your kid is affecting your child, no one else.
Yeah. And see, now I want to throw in my opinion on this. I feel like it's just most parents are normal. I'm gonna say most parents, I guess I don't want to say normal parent, it sounds weird, but most parents kind of work a 8 to 9 to 5 type of deal, or go
long
work
hours.
at 8, where they're working in the morning and they're off by the evening time, or right before evening time. So I feel like personally, to me, you have the time to be able to help your kid. It's just more of a fact that a lot of parents just simply don't want to do it. And then there's part of me, I feel like that a lot of parents just simply don't know how to do the work. And of course, you don't want to look stupid to your kid that you don't know. The kid gonna be like, "Wow, am I learning this?" And you don't even know this. So, but I'm gonna say this is more for the parents that are kids that are in kindergarten and stuff, and this basic stuff. You know, that basic stuff as a parent, you should be able to know how to do, and it's not a lot of work. You know, with my kid, you know, that I'm working with, what grade is he in? I think he's in like, maybe second, third. What grade are you in? Like 8 and 9? I don't know. But even then, you know, of course he has autism, so his work wasn't too hard. It wasn't really nothing too hard. You know, you just take a minute and I just feel like a lot of parents just simply don't want to do it once they get off work. And that's not a good thing or a good mindset to have as a parent, personally, because a lot of parents tend to just look at school as, okay, this is school time, your teacher is responsible for teaching you. When you come in, they don't bother when the kid comes home to, you know, help them with homework, see if they did their homework, etc., etc. They just feel like it's all on the teacher. And there's been plenty of cases, you know, I'm sure you can Google to where, you know, Google watch videos where there's a video out there somewhere where a parent approaches a teacher with a problem or concern about how their kid is failing, this and that and the fourth. And, you know, of course, wanting to beat the teacher up, but not taking in consideration that a lot of the, you know, or majority of teachers, they don't have that time on their hands to, you know, hard down, dedicate 30-40 minutes to help your kid grasp and catch up with what's going on in class. You know, I feel like 30 minutes, even, you know, maybe even an hour, but if you can't even dedicate an hour, 30 minutes at home with you, trying to, you know, helping your kid with homework or making sure your kid is learning the material that is being taught at that time in class is very important and very essential, because if you don't do that, your kid will fall behind. Don't blame the teacher because your kids are learning this stuff. You know, the teacher has about 20-30 kids maybe in the class. He or she can't dedicate time, you know, especially 30 minutes. I know that's 8 hours at school kids go through, but a teacher doesn't, unless it's high school, of course, but you know, you rotate classes in high school. Y'all get the point. But a teacher doesn't have in a regular elementary class where they're just sitting in one class, I think, majority of all day. Yeah. A teacher doesn't have 30 minutes that they can just break off and just dedicate it to your kid because they're by themselves. And I feel like that's where a lack is in our education system. I feel like a teacher needs someone else, or
you're talking about like an aide?
Yeah. I know that at least where the school we used to work at, there was teacher aides and stuff, but you know, when I was growing up,
certain grades,
they have
certain teachers they have it.
Well, at least that was more like for the little kids. I seen that they had that, but as you get older, they don't have that. Yeah, so I personally feel like a teacher needs someone extra, you know, extra hands on to help, but at the same time, you know, yeah, if they get that, that's still, I feel like, the parents' responsibility to make sure that they're taking effort and helping their kid with homework and stuff. Just 30 minutes isn't gonna, you know, kill you, of course. Yeah. But a lot of parents don't tend to do that. They just have that mindset of school time is when you need to be learning. Like, I'm working, when I get home, I don't want to be bothered with that. And I personally feel like that's a bad trait. We would love to hear any parents out there who may feel that way, you know, why, I guess you could say, and or you can answer, and you know, just your thoughts on it, I guess I can say. Yeah.
Listen, I feel like we can empathize with the parents though. Like, we totally understand how tired you probably are.
Like, I understand both of you, especially being an adult now.
Yeah.
You know, working, get home, you like, oh man, I just want
but just think about, like, put this in your head as a motivation. Like, I spend 30 minutes with my kid, like, you know, reading or, you know, doing some math problems, helping them with their homework. Little stuff like that will really help them a lot in their academic career, because it's gonna show your child, like, hey, my mom, my dad, my aunt, you know, whoever you are to the child, is gonna show them that, hey, they care about my academic standing, so they're gonna push and strive to be the very, very best they can be in school. Because if you show the lack of excitement and the lack of care about their studies, they're going to show that same attitude towards it. So they just mimic what they see at home. Pretty much. That's what I'm trying to say. But I also understand where you're coming from. Like, I understand you're very, very tired. I know you work very hard for your kids, and your kids will truly appreciate that. But, you know, at the same time, you have to understand, like, there is a responsibility with your, like, having a kid. I'm sure you know that. And I'm not trying to, you know, down those parents that don't have time, because sometimes you really simply do not have time. I get that. But at the same time, there's a saying, you make time for, you know, the stuff that you care about. So just try to make time, whether it be once a week, twice a week, you know, once a day. It really depends with your schedule, I understand, but make do and actually put in that time and effort into your child's academic careers, because that really sets a foundation for them. But at the same time, with like all the coronavirus going on, you're stuck at home. Most of y'all probably stuck at home. If you're not an essential worker, you're stuck at home. This is a time to really, like, you are feeling what the teachers are feeling when they're in school, but you are only handling one child. Maybe my perspective in this is different because I have student taught. I'm not a teacher yet, obviously, but I have seen what it is, or how it is in the classroom, and all the stuff that teachers need to handle, that I can truly understand the hard work they put in every single kid in their classroom. And for a parent to just keep bashing teachers down for sending work home during this time, it kind of bothers me in a way, because like, your kid is literally losing instruction time for 3 months? Basically, your child lost March. It started around mid-March, and your kid's not going back to school.
Yes.
So they're losing a long period of time with not taking in any information that they need, because kids are like sponges. They always take in what they hear at school and all that stuff. So for them to not be able to have that time to where it is dedicated to them learning and taking in information for them to use in the future, it is a critical time, because they're not learning. Yeah, they're learning something, but it's not the materials they need. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it blows my mind that parents are really complaining about this, because like, there's a post I saw on Facebook. I don't know if I can find it, but it was a post saying it was like it flipped the viewpoint of the coronavirus. Basically, like, what's it called? The parents now are gonna retell their grandkids, I guess, what the coronavirus was about, because, you know, no. So the kids now are gonna have kids in the future, obviously, and their kids are probably gonna be learning about this whole pandemic that's going on now in their history classes, and they're gonna be like, oh, mom, dad, grandma, aunt, blah 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 blah, I learned that the coronavirus shut everything down, everyone was stuck at home, everything was miserable, blah 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 blah. But then that mom, that dad, or whoever that kid is during the coronavirus time is gonna be like, oh, my viewpoint in that was totally different, because I got to hang out with my mom and dad, you know, whoever I lived with, that whole entire time, and got to spend time with them. Like, this is a time I feel like parents should really cherish. Because during your work week or work hours, you're not getting to see your kids like this. You're not being able to spend time with them. Half the time, most parents only have the time as soon as they get home, they feed their kid, let them chill out for a minute, and now it's time to go to bed. You know? And now, during the coronavirus time, this gives you a moment to really, you know, enjoy your kid growing up. enjoy these moments with your kid, because your kids are gonna grow up very fast.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna stay little for a long time. And yeah, it sucks for, like, with how the school is right now, it sucks for senior high schoolers. It sucks for senior college students, because they're not getting to, you know, enjoy those moments in their career. But yeah, I just kept going on. I'm sorry.
No, I was listening. I'm sure they was listening as well. But yeah, I don't know. I understand that it's a lot. Well, it's not a lot personally, but that's just me. But I mean, it's just all about making time. You know, whether you need to build a schedule if that's going to help you. You know, but this is a very important time for a parent to really kind of take it to their next level and be invested in their kids' education. And you know, there's a lot of parents out there that, even myself, I believe this as well, that the school system doesn't teach you, you know, everything that you need to know, mainly for life. Really, they really kind of just teach you the things to prepare you to be a worker, but not necessarily life things. So, you know, this is a time for you to, you know, not only help them academically with their school stuff, but, you know, have some fun with your kid by, you know, especially if you're not working, you know, you can have them do
craft activities. Yeah,
like a craft or a research project where they have to tell you something that you think is important for your kid to know, such as the difference between mortgage and rent, something like that. You know, something that's
if your kid's a bit older.
Yeah, of course, if that's your kid is a bit older, but you know, if your kid's younger, this is great bonding time with your kid, you know, to, you know, really build a deeper bond with your kid, you know. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's a good and bad with all this going on. It all really depends on how you take it and your viewpoint in it. That's what you're gonna get out of it. It's like, it's everything in life. What you put in is what you get.
Pretty much.
So, I don't know. And we're not talking trash about any parent, by the way. We're expressing how we feel about what we've seen and what we've heard. Just
our opinions on it and our thoughts. Because, you know, when I heard that, you know, from my client's father, and it was a moment of, I was split in between. It's like, I understand, and then it was like at one end it's like, but you normally, you know, he normally comes home about 4 something, so, and then he kind of just chills with his, you know, just relax. But I don't know, it's like, I don't know, you could find some time, you know, 15 minutes, 30 minutes.
Doesn't even have to be a whole hour.
Yeah, I ain't want to say too much because, you know, but about that, my parents, but 15, 30 something, you know, even if it's just one little packet, one page or the first page or something, and then you just do it over time, because I mean, I'm telling you right now, your kid ain't going back, and the main goal is, as long as your kid got this thing done by I guess by when he go back to school, I'm assuming that's when the teachers are gonna want it, or maybe not.
Really.
Yeah, and it might not. It might just be some. And I don't want to put this out there because the parent gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely not gonna let," but not worrying about it now. If you know, they're not gonna never want to collect and check this stuff. But I mean, you know, you should just care about your kid education, man. You know, you don't want your kid to be out here in the world as an adult loss.
Yeah, the packets is meant for her, your kid, to help them. Yeah, to help them not stagnant. Stagnant in their, you know, learning. That way they're still learning throughout all of this going on. Personally, that's how I see it. And you got to treat it as if it's not a chore. Yeah. If you see it a chore, it's going to be a drag for them to do it.
You got to make it fun somehow.
Yeah, make it fun, make it exciting, you know. Turn it, even if it's a simple worksheet, turn it into a game. Figure something out. Like, if you need help turning a worksheet into a game, hit me up. I'll help you. I'll help you with your kid. You know, I just like it because I want to be a teacher, so I love, like, just teaching kids and seeing that light bulb, like, just light up. Be like, oh, I get it. That's just me.
I get you. I don't know. I think that was just, this isn't really a long topic to be going on.
I just kind of made it longer than it needed to be.
That's all good. We need the minutes. So, I don't know. We would love to hear, if you're a parent out there, hear your thoughts. Even if you ain't a parent, give your input.
Yeah.
We want to have this conversation. We want to know how parents feel. We just want to know how y'all feel. I'm just putting it at that. Mm-hmm. How y'all feel. Definitely go over to Facebook and type in jtc.podcast. And, we're up on Facebook every week. We try to post a question. We're going to have a question up, based on this episode, as well as, other questions that's not related to an episode. Exactly. Just, just to spark a conversation, just to get engaged with you guys, guys and girls. We have plans for, we kind of we've been, had talks about this, but of course, when we, grow, I know this is probably, tough to, really engage in as a listener, to grow this podcast. Once we do that, we're going to branch over to, this podcast is much more of a live thing. So, we gain, followers on Facebook. We plan on switching over and actually doing live shows. So that way people can actually engage in our topics and stuff. So, we have that plan. But right now we just gotta, grow into that, start from the ground and go up. So,
yep.
What else?
No, we have an Instagram too that you can follow. It's basically the same thing.
JTC.
Or it might be just JTC Podcast.
One or two, you'll find it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Type in Join the Conversation Podcast or JTC Podcast. One of those.
Yeah, you'll find it.
I'll link it down below.
What else? That's it.
That's pretty much it. We'll try to upload as much as we can.
Yeah, since
we're home.
Yeah, at least for now. I might be back at work next week.
We'll see. I work from home now.
We'll see. Well, this concludes this podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We are your hosts. My name is Tristan.
My name is Kimmy.
And we will catch you on the next episode of Join the